trick. Through storms and sunny days, we dance in the world's embrace. Every step in perfect sync, hearts and minds always linked. We work, we play, we laugh, we cry, underneath the same bright sky. Building dreams, brick by brick, love and unity, that's our trick. Through storms and sunny days, we dance in the world's embrace.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Lens again, your go-to show where we examine the issues, ideas, and events that shape our world. I'm your host, Kaitan Aguma Davis, and today's episode will be a deep dive into a topic that has been at the heart of societal change for centuries, and that is gender roles in history. So from history changing men and women to shifting responsibilities in marriage, we also discuss how feminism has played a crucial role in redefining social life. But before we dive in, let's set the stage and understand how gender roles have shaped the societies we live in. Yeah, we've got a good contribution of gender roles in societal development, like the way we live, the way we carry out businesses, etc. And every gender has really contributed to this development. Well, gender roles have also been a significant force in the development of societies throughout history. Yeah, and initially these roles were practical, dividing labor to ensure survival. But did they always limit or empower? Well, let's start by exploring how these roles have contributed to societal development. Well, if we go back to ancient civilization, the roles of men and women were clearly defined. For example, in ancient Egypt, we see powerful female figures like Queen Hatshepsut and Queen Cleopatra, who ruled Egypt as pharaohs. And these challenged the traditional patriarchal norms. Yeah, and they did not only hold political power, but also contributed to the Egyptian architecture and economic prosperity, proving that women were capable of leadership roles. But then this doesn't also discourage men that they are not good politicians. Well, men are actually good politicians, but we see that politics doesn't know gender. A woman and a man can really carry out political leadership. Well, similarly, in early agricultural societies, men typically worked the land, while women managed the household and children, as we see them, we can call them housewives in those days. And these clearly defined roles helped sustain families and communities during challenging times. But it wasn't all about restriction, no. These roles also ensured that the necessities of life were well managed. So men used to go out and work on the land, carry out agriculture, and then bring the produce back home to look after their families. So in most cases, historically, it was the men who were responsible for the family well-being, including the wife. I've seen most societies in history, most families were polygamous, right? So that means the more wives you had, the more responsibilities you had, which made you a man in those days, because it's not easy to look after, let's say, like 7 wives, is it? It's not really easy. So that was the role of the man. Unlike today, where we see women having jobs, they also contribute the family. They also put food on the table of their families. And in more recent history, we saw societal development fostered by the breaking of these traditional roles. For instance, the Industrial Revolution led to women entering the workforce, which changed both economic dynamics and family structure. Well, the Industrial Revolution had to demand labor from the citizens, and of which men were not enough, whereby most men served in the army. And what does that mean? they had to die in war. They died. They majorly died in war. Yeah, and initially, and the initial stages of the Industrial Revolution, men did the work alone. Like they only did the industrial work. But then, as you know, these machines were new and they were not used to them, so they eventually killed them. So we also see men also died in industries, which left at high levels of labor demand, which compelled women to come and work in those industries, which also changed the image of these women and put them in these industries, right? And with women working in factories, their roles shifted from, purely domestic to industrial, laying the groundwork of future progress in gender equality. Guys, we really need this gender equality whereby, okay, we are not equal, but what men can do, women can also do. Yeah? And that's how it kept on going. Women invented stuff. We have the inventor of Wi-Fi was a woman. The first pilot to fly over the Atlantic was a woman, right? And we have also black women activists. We have Winnie Mandela. We've got women like Winnie Byanyima, who was the first Ugandan to study aeronautic engineering, whatever they call it. It's called aerospace engineering. Yeah. And what else is that we shall find out that also these women have also changed the structures of different lifestyles, right? Yeah. For example, Rosalind Franklin, who provided a critical X-ray diffraction images that led to the discovery of DNA's double helix structure, revolutionizing molecular biology. She contributed well to our world living, right? And also Amelia Earhart. She broke barriers in aviation as the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. Wow. That was really a great woman. Then we have also another inventor. Well, if you really ask yourself how you get this internet, how you can watch TikTok without, you go to someone's house and then ask for the Wi-Fi password. Well, don't be surprised that the inventor of this Wi-Fi was really a woman, and her name was Hedy Lamarr. She invented frequency hopping technology, the foundation of modern wireless communications like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Well, wow, that may be shocking, but the Wi-Fi we use today, the Bluetooth we use today, was all an idea in her head. Then we also have a lady who really freed hundreds of slaves in America. These were usually black slaves. Her name was Harriet Tubman. She freed hundreds of enslaved people via the Underground Railroad and served as a spy during the Civil War. You see? She changed the world, didn't she? These are all some of the greatest women who changed the world. Well, we go back to history. We also have Empress Dowager Cixi. She ousted a group of regents appointed by the late emperor and ruled the country itself. She was a woman. And we also have the famous Queen Elizabeth II, who was the longest reigning monarch of Britain and 20th century most powerful monarch. 20th century. Wow. So you see, what men can do, women can do. So these are some of the few examples. Well, we also have other examples like Rosalind Franklin, Rosa Parks. She was the leader in the 1950s civil rights movement when she refused to give up her seat on the bus of a white passenger. And we also have the famous Marie Curie. She was the first woman to win the Nobel Prize, and she's the only woman who won it twice. So women out there, don't lose hope. Yeah, you can be in the urban areas and rural areas, but don't lose hope. Just follow your dreams. Come up with ideas. You never know what that idea may take, because all dreams begin with ideas, by the way. And then there's this method whereby, this thing is mainly for men. No, it's not only for men. Okay? Yeah. So, and we all, as men out there, don't intimidate these women, because they are soft-hearted. So that's it. So that's the contribution of gender roles. The contribution of different genders in this social welfare. Well, we don't only talk about women, we shall also talk about men. We have really many men who changed history. All right? Many men. We have the guys of Nikola Tesla. We we actually use the bulb today just because of him. We have light because of him. We talk on phone because of him. We do everything because of him, Nikola Tesla. We have guys like Thomas Edison. Wow, these are the guys that really invented strong things in our world today. And we also have guys like Albert Einstein, who invented relativity, something like that. The physics students know better. We also have guys like Alexander the Great. Funny about this guy, by the age of 25, he was ruling half of the world. If it wasn't for his rule, funny enough, we wouldn't be having the modern day political methods that he left us behind. Nigga was just 25. He spread Greek culture, the man of civilization in Europe. So if he didn't spread Greek culture, probably it would be late for us to really know what Greek culture was all about. We have guys like Julius Caesar. You know what I'm saying? We have guys like Genghis Khan. The reason you see, the funny thing is, the reason you see Chinese, North Koreans, the Thais, the Myanmars, those from the country of Myanmar, formerly called Burma, guys from the Koreas, Japan, the reason you see they kind of look alike. These people are the descendants of the present Mongolia, if you've heard of that country. So Genghis Khan is responsible for that intermixture of races. That's why you see they all kind of look alike. We have guys like Albert Einstein. Wow. He developed the theory of relativity, fundamentally altering our understanding of space, time, and gravity. And he also contributed to the development of the quantum theory. We also have guys like Isaac Newton. If this apple didn't hit, if it wasn't hit by the apple, then physics wouldn't be living right now. Because that's when he opened his eyes and formulated the laws of motion and universal gravitation. Yeah, laying the groundwork of classical mechanics and changing our understanding of physics. Then another guy who really tampered with our history was the guy called Abraham Lincoln. Yes, he was a white man, but really fighting for the black freedom. Yeah. He perceived the Union during the American Civil War. That was when the South was not uniting with the North. As we all know from our simple American history, North America was, the northern part of America was comprised of liberals, and the southern part of America was comprised of the conservatives. That's where we find the cowboys right now. That's where we find the country music. You've seen these guys who wear hats, you know. They still believe in their old tradition. But the Northern American guys, they're too liberal. They're the ones doing all this stuff. But the Southern American guys are really, what they focus on is their agriculture and their cattle keeping. That's it. So he really wanted to unite these two states, and which affected the slavery market. Because the Northern guys didn't really want, the Northern guys believed in freedom. They being liberals. The Southern guys believe in conservatism. They believe that, these are our slaves. So Abraham Lincoln fought and issued the Emancipation Proclamation, leading to the abolition of slavery in the United States. Another guy we have here is Thomas Edison. He invented the electric light bulb and phonograph and developed systems of electric power. Yeah, that's him. Then you have Johannes Gutenberg. The reason we are typing, the reason you have WhatsApp right now, the reason you have these keyboards, the reason we print out things is this guy called Johannes Gutenberg. And so on and so on. Yeah. Then we also have, other men who are contributing to our sister's beauty. Like the inventor of Snapchat. He was a man. He wasn't a woman. His name was Evan Spiegel. He invented Snapchat. Another guy called, there's a guy who invented Netflix. He was called Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph. Those were two men who were behind the Netflix story. Then we also have, lastly, the Instagram founders, Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger. So these two genders have really contributed to the development of our society today. Yeah? So there's no need to fight against each other. There's no need to fight against each other about these roles. And then carry out our freedom. We are all brothers and sisters. So with that, let's go into a short break and we'll be back with gender roles in marriage across cultures.
In the morning sun we rise, man and woman side by side. Together we share the load, hand in hand down life's road. We work, we play, we laugh, we cry, underneath the same bright sky. Building dreams, brick by brick, love and unity, that's our trick. She's got her hammer, I've got mine. Together we're a perfect rhyme. Cooking meals, raising kids. Together we scale life's grids. We work, we play, we laugh, we cry, underneath the same bright sky. Building dreams, brick by brick, love and unity, that's our trick. Through storms and sunny days, we dance in the world's embrace. Every step in perfect sync, hearts and minds always linked. We work, we play, we laugh, we cry, underneath the same bright sky. Building dreams, brick by brick, love and unity, that's our trick. Through storms and sunny days, we dance in the world's embrace. Every step in perfect sync, hearts and minds always linked. She's got her hammer, I've got mine. Together we're a perfect rhyme. Cooking meals, raising kids. Together we scale life's grids. We work, we play, we laugh, we cry, underneath the same bright sky. Building dreams, brick by brick, love and unity, that's our trick.
Yo, welcome back from the short break. So let's talk about gender roles in marriages, specifically in different cultures. Yeah. And right now I'm having a co-host, Kalinzi Louise, who seems to be good at this stuff, like, marriage stuff and what is a good, okay, not only marriage, but also relationships. So, Louise, throughout history, marriage has been a central and has been central to societal structure, with each culture defining the role of men and women differently. So, explain to us the roles of these two parties, and then I also add on to your views.
Well, I want to first go back to that. By the way, today's show it It was between Kaitana and his co-host Ami, but Ami had some complications, and so she sent me to sit in for her.
Yeah.
But this topic, you guys chose a topic that's quite sensitive, and I like the fact that we have to look at them from the perspective of history through the
Yeah.
historical eyes. But then before I came in and I had you talking, I was like, what are you basically talking about? Because you're basically bringing out historical figures.
Yeah. Okay, what I was trying to talk about in our first session,
Yeah.
I was trying to explain to the people that the inventions or the world we are living in is not basically founded by one gender. You feel my point? Like, you know, I back then before before this modernity, people thought this world was supposed to be controlled by men.
Supposed.
Yes,
People
supposed to be
thought.
controlled. Yeah, people thought. Because if you go back then in history, in African culture, remember how our mothers, our grandmothers really subdued to their husbands. Like, if your grandmother has money, your grandfather has to know that. So that meant that it had to make them think that women were just there or up in the house. And if you realize that in the Council of Elders, put the African way, and even in Europe, at the Senates and what, those things were controlled were basically controlled by men. But with the introduction of the Industrial Revolution, the things were later liberalized.
So
You see my point? So,
I want to think differently though.
okay, it's okay.
Because there's a way I looked at gender roles. Basically, back in those days,
Yeah.
our gender roles were basically kind of interdependence, I may say.
Yeah, good. Yeah,
So
they were.
where men had particular roles
Yeah,
and women had particular roles,
yeah,
and no role was less compared to the other. Okay, in a certain way, men's roles were heavy and were really laborious.
yeah.
But even the little things, I will put them in quotes, the little things women need, because those things weren't little.
Yeah, don't
Taking care of the kids, taking care of the houses, I mean, doing all the things around home, that thing wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. So, but there was that kind of respect for each other because of what each other could do for the other. So then I look at history, whereas they did not really think that women were behind, lagging. Well, that was there, but they still had a value. Society couldn't do well without women. But though there has been a change, a drift, and that drift has come basically in the roles of humanity, whereby a woman is no longer she can do more than cooking. She can do more than taking care of kids. She can do more than a lot of things, by the way. And that will bring me to the time, just as you've talked about the Industrial Revolution,
Yeah.
after the wars. I think, is that the Industrial Revolution? Or the Industrial Revolution was before the wars?
It also began in the 17th century, whereby men, basically,
It was first men filled the
'cause if you realize,
industries.
the inventor of the wheeling machine
Mm.
was a man. The inventor of this plowing machine was a man. The inventor of a tractor was a man. You know why they invented those stuff?
Why? To make his work easier?
Men were the ones who controlled the fields. So there was no way a woman who spends her time home 24/7 would come up with such an idea and be like, let me invent something. You know why it was a woman who invented Wi-Fi?
Wait, a woman invented Wi-Fi.
Well, yeah, you know why she did that? You know why
Tell
she
me.
had that strong idea?
She was always home.
Remember, logically, women work as secretaries most time. It is the women who work as personal secretaries of these men. Let's put it in this way.
During that time.
Yeah, during that time.
Even today, though.
Yeah, up to now.
Yeah.
Okay, most of them are women. Women are people who acted as, let me call it like marketing agents. Okay, that stuff in that area. So maybe she needed a way to transfer information from one area to another. Basically, like, let's say from one company to another. So she sat down and really thought, be like, how can I do that? She had to come up with Bluetooth.
A woman came up with
Yeah,
Bluetooth.
it was that's the one who invented Wi-Fi came up with. Okay, she came up with these wireless connections that gave birth to the ideas of Bluetooth and
What's the
Wi-Fi.
name again?
Hanat something Anel. She was some Turkish woman. Yeah,
So that's interesting. So,
something called Anel. Yeah, Anel something. Yeah, but she was a Turkish.
Oh, Turkish. So she was basically, so everyone inverted according to their own
Yeah, their own
responsibilities
responsibilities
and their own roles.
Good
So what's the topic of today?
gender roles.
Gender roles, and
Yeah,
we're
but
looking
right
at
now we're on gender roles in marriage.
in marriage.
Yeah.
Tell me, what do you have for us?
So right now, we are going to first check the gender roles in the perspectives of our ancestors and how we view gender roles in marriage right now in the Gen Z generation. So, for example, in ancient Greece, marriage was viewed as an arrangement for reproduction and alliance building, with men being the heads of households and women focusing on home management. What does that mean? In Greece, for example, you're my good friend and you have a sister. And you're like, in order to strengthen our bond, I'll marry your sister.
And
Maybe you marry my sister. That's in order to strengthen our bond.
Sister exchange.
So it would be good, yeah. So it would be good if our kids share the
Lisa.
same blood. That's how guys in Greece did that. But however, women are like all other cultures. Women were left with the responsibility on home management, and then men did the other stuff, fighting wars, whatever they did. Carrying out agriculture, raiding, everything that you think a man
Brutal.
could do.
By the
They
way,
did.
there are some cultures. You've heard of Karamoja. It's
Yeah.
the women to build the houses.
Then in India, it's in India where women pay the bride price.
It's-
They pay the dowry.
The dowry. But
I don't think it's the bride price.
what caught me was this. Karamoja ladies build the houses.
Yeah, they do and very well. You know what?
Oh, why?
That's part of home management.
Then what did the men do?
The men in Karamoja, mainly because you know them being pastoralists. Yeah, you know them being pastoralists. They majorly carried out cattle rustling. You know what I mean by
So
cattle
basically,
rustling?
for them, men were there to cause trouble.
To cause trouble. They believed all cows living under the sun were theirs.
Ah,
You feel my point?
okay,
So
yeah.
that's in a cultural perspective. Then in medieval Europe, this was between let's say between the 1300s to the 1700s.
Those Middle Ages.
Yeah, Middle Ages.
I have to
called
call
medieval
them.
Europe.
I have to call them the Dark Ages. I think the Dark Ages.
They're not really dark, but they're not really dark because it was in medieval Europe where many changes took place. The French Revolution, the English Revolution as well, whereby they introduced a constitution in the English monarchy. Yeah, such stuff. We also have the American War of Independence. But of course, America being America, but it took place during.
In America, back then was a kid.
America was just a kid.
UK was the thing.
Yeah, but now UK is the kid and America is
Super childish.
things change, bro. There's climate change. And don't be surprised when Uganda itself is the king.
Africa.
Yeah, Africa.
I'm
but
looking
Uganda
at Africa.
specifically as the king, maybe America is the kid.
Hopefully one day.
We pray one day. It can take 500 years, by the way.
Let's proceed with our topic. So you're telling us about
yeah,
gender
medieval Europe.
roles. Yeah,
like-
medieval Europe.
Like ancient Greece, marriages were also primarily social contracts, and roles were often strictly defined, where women's roles were to care for children and men to protect and provide. So men's roles were basically to protect and provide. Because in these two cultures, families were monogamous.
What?
Yeah, in Europe, families were monogamous.
Monogamous?
Yeah, unlike for the kings and what. But even the kings were vowed to, because
They had one.
No.
They had one queen, but they had many concubines.
the thing was like this. Let's do it logically. The Catholic Church was in Europe,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The second
Hail
thing,
the Pope.
the canon law says
Mm.
you're only wedded once.
Yeah.
If we are to think of this church wedding we attend, that's basically European culture, but though in a religious way. So I see no reason why you do the traditional wedding and do the culture, the Christian thing. But anyways, that's not what brought us here.
That's not that
Yeah,
today.
but the religious wedding we do today is part of it was done even before Christianity was introduced, whereby in place of the priest, there's some guy who comes, let's say wizard or whatever they used to call them. But the Catholic canon law says you only wedded once. So if you marry another wife, it's up to you. You won't be wedded in church. But our traditional African tradition says,
My jigo
as
gate.
long as you want, as long as you can take care of her,
That's in the
we have no
Muslim
problem
thing.
with. Even in Africa, by the way,
Taken care of.
whether
All it was to pay bride price.
as long as bride price and taking care of her. Yeah, because bride price is like an assurance to your father-in-law that you're taking care of her daughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me more about the medieval Europe.
So medieval Europe, being men had only two roles in life: to protect and to provide. So they go outside, do whatever they do, and surprisingly, if a woman had also, if a man had a concubine outside, it was none of the woman's business to know. Because as long as I give you food and you have security, what else do you want?
What else do you want?
Nothing. Because men go outside, and you can't tell me you'll spend 2 years in war without temptations coming on.
Ask these guys who are always on safari things.
You feel? So that was the way in medieval Europe. But in medieval Europe, most marriages were monogamous.
Monogamous.
Yeah, though having concubines are not your wives. They're just concubines.
Not just concubines.
Yeah, or a wife is a person you're legally married to. Let's say legally married to.
So the other one, you could take away the kid just...
Dude, you can live with a girl for as long as you want and have kids. But as long as we know
You're not
the
married.
girl is not
you
your
guys
wife.
are bad.
Yeah. No, she's not your wife.
You guys are bad.
She's,
Please
let's
don't
say,
do that.
No, let's say your girlfriend or what?
Mm.
But guys, I advise you, if you at least reach 6 years of dating, you propose to the girl and marry. You can't date someone for 15 years.
Tell them.
And you expect, and also girls out there think he's going to marry me. 15 years.
Yeah.
Are you dating a
you
master's?
you have to really... 15 years. You mean they just be there 15
You're
years
almost even growing old.
being there?
And then, yes, of course, they have kids already, I guess. But not yet married.
Yeah.
So let's go to our own indigenous African cultures.
Mm.
Marriage was more with roles often shared between partners based on mutual respect and the needs of the community.
Mm.
Yeah, what they mean, it was more like egalitarian.
What?
Okay, it was more like equality. You know why African men give birth to many kids?
Security.
No. Labor.
Also that.
Yeah, just cheap labor.
Tugende mu nnimiro and the guy gets his army of
20
boys.
Kids. You have 20 kids. That's already cheap labor, bro.
Did you read the book of Forget Things Fall Apart?
Yeah,
you read
Fall
Things Fall
Apart,
Apart.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it was
Achebe.
Okonko.
Yeah.
Okonko.
Okonko, yeah. So
The guy had sons.
how many sons did he have?
He had 11 children.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one son of his, Nkoye, who became a Christian later. Ikemefuna, you remember Ikemefuna wasn't a son.
Yeah,
he was
a bastard.
a bastard.
Yeah, son.
A bastard son. He had. What I remember, he had 11 children, and he had 3 wives, and each wife had a garden.
Yeah.
But Okonko went to his own garden, and he used to farm it alone. But he was going with his 2 sons. He was going with Nkoye, Noye, and Ikemefuna. It was a lovely story. It's a lovely African thing, you know. It was
Advise
just
all the
strong.
young Africans to read it out there.
And it's a beautiful book.
Yeah.
Okonko ends it in a bad. Let me not spoil the beans for you.
Okay. So that's how. So you see, for the African part, the gender roles. Okay, let's really basically explain the African part. In
But
gender
before
roles.
we go very far,
Yeah.
what are gender roles?
Gender roles. When gender, just cut the phrase into 2. Gender. What's gender? The sexuality of a person, right? Roles. What you're supposed to do. So gender roles are what different genders are supposed to do. The law of nature
What
states.
supposed to do?
Yeah, the law of nature states. Men, there are things men do that women don't do, and there are things women do that men don't do. Leave alone this coming up with modernity thing. The law of nature. Okay, the law of God. If God wanted equality between men and women, then there will be no need of creating a woman.
Could have saved us a lot.
Yeah. But then he also saw that men cannot
Couldn't
give
live.
birth. Yeah,
A
couldn't live
man
without a
cannot
woman.
live. He said, what did he say? Yeah, he saw that
A man cannot
it
live
was
alone.
not good for a man to live
Live
alone. How do
That's
priests
why he
do
goes
it?
to his parents. Yeah. And that's what I have a problem with these feminists. We can live without men. You cannot live without a man. Live on technology.
Let's save that for the other part of that.
part of feminism.
Yeah.
So gender roles are what different sexualities are supposed, because we only have 2 sexes. Leave alone the 72 genders in the other world we don't want to talk about.
Those guys are weird.
They're really weird. You can't have 72 genders, bro. It's really funny. And those pronouns, I don't like them. It's
And
either
the alphabet
he or I.
people.
You feel my point?
But for me, gender roles, the way I see gender roles is that they are roles.
Yeah.
Most times roles are for example, roles are defined by our societies in which we are living.
Yeah.
For example, in central here, Uganda, I think I'm so strongly sure that it was men constructing the buildings, the
Yeah.
houses.
Yeah.
It is just so amazing how I got to learn that women in Karamoja are the ones constructing the houses. Imagine of women in Karamoja doing the potting.
Do you know what I thought about that? Actually, I once made research about that.
Mm,
The women building houses in Karamoja. The reason, you see, as I told you earlier,
mm,
men
mm,
didn't have, okay, in short, men didn't stay home.
mm.
The Karamajongs are a pastoralist
Oh,
people. They are nomads.
always nomads moving
Yeah.
from place to place.
They are nomads. And you know what nomads do?
Mm.
The only thing they care about is their cattle. They don't want to give a fuck about the kids.
Mm-hmm.
They don't think about the kids or the wife. No.
Mm.
They think about the cows.
So basically, these guys had a role of taking care of the cattle, and then the ladies
Women did everything about the kids.
home. So meaning the roles are usually defined by our societies in which we
Yeah,
live
in
in.
which we live in.
Because, for example, okay, that's the only. Now in Ghana, what is it in Teso? There's somewhere in East Africa, I'm forgetting that tribe.
Yeah.
Women were doing trading. Basically, women were trading amongst fellow women. They did most of the trading. Then one tribe was against the other.
Yeah.
The men of one tribe were against the men of the other. But the women of these same tribes used to trade amongst each other. So as the men were out in the fields fighting, the women were out trading. And that it turns out
That's
to
a
be...
genius mind.
Was it? It was somewhere in Kenya. It must have been in Kenya, towards around.
The coastal areas.
Forget the coastal areas, around inside, but around Mountain Kilimanjaro.
Kilimanjaro is
Either
in
them-
TZ. It's in Tanzania.
Either them or somewhere around here, but all Elgon area. But it was in Africa, whereby women were trading amongst each other, but their husbands were fighting against each other. So society defined them, gave them a role of actually going out to trade. That's
really good.
in for example in the other. I used to watch out of Disney movies, and I saw many fathers were the ones going out to trade. Basically, even right now in the current age, though it's all over the place, men and women do trade, but there are some places where men did most of the trading, and so they had that role. Then we had many roles, many small roles. So basically, to me, I got to learn that roles are defined by the society in which you live in, and society has a tendency of shifting as time goes on. Norms and things keep
And
on
cultures,
shifting,
yeah, they
and
keep on
cultures keep
changing,
on
yeah.
shifting as yours keep on coming. So generals, to me, I got to learn that they can actually change. But what I do agree that does not change, they are the characters of the particular genders.
Something I believe in. I'm a good Christian.
I believe you.
Yeah, I'm a good Christian.
Yeah.
And I believe in nature.
Nature,
And I also believe in God.
yeah,
Because nature to exist,
has to be a creator.
there has to be creator.
Yeah.
And of course, the reason the creator created this nature, he also needed the nature
Mm.
in his own way that we don't understand.
Mm.
Because for you, if you're creating something, you need that something, right?
Mm.
And it also needs
Oh,
you.
yeah, but
Good. So what I'm trying to think, the law of nature, the God created things. It's the same God who created the nomads, and the same God who created the what? The
God created
agriculturists.
diversity.
They cultivate
Yeah,
diversity.
diversity.
Isn't it? He created women and men in their own way. That's why you see we have whites and blacks.
Yeah.
The reason they are white is the climate they have there. That was God's knowledge. The reason we are black African here is because of our climate. So, gender roles.
I want to disagree a lot,
No,
but
wait, I will disagree. So, gender roles in Africa
yeah,
and gender roles in Europe.
there was a similarity.
No, nature says women are weaker than men. As that nature says it, not I. Nature says it.
It's true.
But women are stronger than men in some other way.
It's true.
Can you give birth? Can you imagine that pain you're giving birth if it's not a cesarean section?
It's true.
You can imagine that pain, isn't it?
Well,
She can't imagine the pain of being in war. We are in those missiles, bombing, all that stuff.
They are in the wars actually
They
right
are,
now.
but they don't know. If you're
There are
no,
pains men have
no.
that women do not have.
Listen.
That's what I will agree with.
Don't know what they're saying.
But war.
No, when women are in war, they don't fight on battlefronts. They don't. They have some other response. They can be spies, they can be, let's say, cooks, they can be, okay, they're soldiers in war, but not participating in war. Do they know war? Even on these small wars we have here, M23 and what?
No,
We have
that's
wars,
a
bro.
war.
No,
That's
it's not yet a
how-
war that has claimed millions of lives. It's still claiming thousands of lives.
So you want a war that
Okay.
claims millions of lives.
Yeah,
That's when you'll
let's
be
say,
satisfied.
let's say, okay, like the Second World War, for example. Imagine a woman being in that war.
They died. They died. I watched the movies. They
And
died.
surprisingly, men die more than the women. If you check the
Not
death toll,
surprisingly.
yeah, death toll, the men die more than the. Do you know why? Women
Because they were
women
the
are
war.
supposed to be protected by men. It's the law of nature.
And that's the love war.
That's the
Everyone
law-
is crying, protect the women, protect the
The
children.
women, yeah.
Children are women.
But we also die.
What
We are
about
humans.
men?
We also die, isn't it?
Yeah.
We also have the same flesh. But God created women, like a woman in nature of, okay, if you read the Bible very well, a woman was supposed to be a partner of the man.
A
Right?
suitable helper.
A suitable helper.
Mm.
That
Not
means,
any less,
but not
any
a
more.
dependent of. There's a difference between being independent and a partner.
Yeah.
It depends on someone who asks money for you, hair, manicure, pedicure, bichi.
Behavior, nah.
That's not your partner. That's a dependent.
That's a predator, a child.
Yeah. So, personally, what I believe in, the Karimo Jones we're talking about,
Mm.
as I've explained to you, those women who were trading,
Mm.
they were doing their job.
They were doing
They
their
were
job.
helping men.
They were being suitable
Yeah,
helpers.
suitable helpers.
Mm.
And that's the kind of woman I would like to marry.
A suitable
Yeah.
helper.
You're like, let's say, like you're in a crisis and your man has a business. I don't want that to take care of me. Take care of the family.
Mm.
That's why we are married, by the way.
And the family consists of me.
Yeah. But you know, there's the way women see these things like, you know, my man is my money, our man is your man is our man. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
But we have kids. I work. They think men get money from, let's say, heaven. They think they come here and work and boom, $2 million on your account.
I don't know, man. I've seen different women in my life.
Yeah.
I've grown up with
But you have
different
to agree
women. I
with
might
this,
say.
Louis. You have to agree with this.
Yeah.
As you're trying to disagree. I was trying to say that God created women in a different way that He created us.
Yeah, we are different.
Yeah, and if you see these women in different cultures trading, there was a time in Europe when the Turks were taking over Rome, Eastern Rome, the Byzantine Empire.
Mm.
You know what women did?
Oh,
Guess what they did?
I don't know. They
Shit.
fought back.
You're joking.
They cried
They trained their kids as early as 5 years of age.
to be soldiers.
That's the same with the Turkish kids. You know what the Turkish mothers used to tell their kids?
Oh,
So when the Turks were growing, when these young Ottoman kids were growing up,
mm.
they'd give them milk.
Mm.
And as time went by, they stopped giving them milk. And guess what? They would say, the Romans took your milk.
Causing pain.
Causing pain and anger.
Anger,
Be like, you are drinking
hatred.
this milk. Yeah, against the Romans.
The way they're doing it in Gaza.
Good. that was the same thing with the Romans back then.
Mm.
So women, in their perspective, they saw it as nurturing their kids in a solidarity way. Because they're on this pampering stuff of, you're my baby, come here, baby, come this, come.
Mm.
A woman's supposed to train a man to be a man.
Thank you.
You're a man, bro. Don't be babysitted.
Mm.
You feel my point? So that's what those women did. And they were partners.
Mm.
But a woman who is a spy,
It's
you marry,
another
for
thing.
example, you marry, let's say, a girl from my tribe, right? And she
Are
happens to
they
be a spy.
spies?
No, let me give you an example. There was a scenario, by the way, where men married, like these kings and generals married women from other cultures.
Those were many
Bonga
scenarios.
abaga,
There is this
Kivu.
Kivuka story of Uganda. Kivuka was a warrior against Bunyoro.
Yeah, I had that story.
And then Kivuka, and this story has a lot of similarity with the story of Samson in the Bible.
Yeah, in the Bible.
So this Kivuka guy, he was a demigod of Uganda, and whenever Bunyoro attacked, they were badly defeated. And they always wanted to know who's beating us. They got to know the man of the trouble, and it was Kivuka. They're like, how is he doing it? 1, 2, 3, 4 battles. He was beating them so badly. And so they decided to
send their daughter.
a daughter. Kivuka falls in love. I don't know how men were so blind, but Kivuka falls in love with her. And she begins asking him. First time he refuses, they attack. It tells them a story, just as that of Samson. Just as Samson told Delilah that,
The secret of
that tie my hands with
his
what, and all those times it was failing until they all do the same thing. The woman Kivuka got did the same thing as Delilah, saying you don't really love me. I think you can find okay. Whenever they attack me, I'm in the clouds, so they never see me, and I keep sending down spears at them. So she told the Bunyoro guys, and the Bunyoro guys got him. The same thing with Samson. So yeah, there have been spies.
Yeah.
Very good ones, by the way.
I'm not saying women are bad, but women can be good and bad, and men can be good and bad. We are all humans.
We are all evil.
Yeah. So, for example, in the 1960s, guess what? Women
what?
in the US began to join the workforce in large numbers, while men also began to share domestic responsibilities more equally. Okay, I'm not saying men should wash utensils and shouldn't cook. My perspective, a man can do it during an emergency, let's say.
Men back then were what? Were lame.
Yeah, because gender roles in this perspective. If your wife is sick, like really sick,
Can't you
Yeah.
really cook her a meal?
wash the dishes, cook the meal.
Mm.
Na igoli ku Snapchat go akabako mulimo. Guess for me to go and wash the dishes and they call it gender equality. Let's go for a short break and we shall this in our next in our next session we are going to discuss about feminism and male inclusion. And we shall talk about where feminism came from and how it has really affected our everyday world right now. See you later.
In the morning sun we rise, man and woman side by side. Together we share the load, hand in hand down life's road. We work, we play, we laugh, we cry, underneath the same bright sky. Building dreams, brick by brick. Love and unity, that's our trick. She's got her hammer, I've got mine. Together we're a perfect rhyme. Cooking meals, raising kids. Together we scale life's grids. We work, we play, we laugh, we cry, underneath the same bright sky. Building dreams, brick by brick. Love and unity, that's our trick. Through storms and sunny days, we dance in the world's embrace. Every step in perfect sync, hearts and minds always linked. We work, we play, we laugh, we cry, underneath the same bright sky. Building dreams, brick by brick. Love and unity, that's our trick. Through storms and sunny days, we dance in the world's embrace. Every step in perfect sync, hearts and minds always linked.
Welcome back from the short break. So right now, I and Louis are going to talk about feminism, one of the most transformative
But before we go
movements.
very far, you're very excited about this
No,
one.
I'm not excited. Let me first explain to our listeners what feminism
But
is.
I want to first employ them to something.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys, you've had like there's something I've loved about the song we've just been playing, the theme of today's show. And he's talked about she has a hammer, I have my hammer, and we are all working together for the goodness of the family. And that's what we've been talking about, gender roles. Like it's not necessarily what you have to do. In addition was exempt for a woman. No.
No.
You come in. You come in when there is need. You come in when there is help. You come in. You just have to come in. Come
And
in because
do
you
what
are a
others
suitable
need,
helper
yeah.
for each other. Not only for husbands, also for girls and boys. I mean, even at school. Wherever
Man,
we
I'm not
be.
taking sides. Don't take this. I'm taking your side. Man, you also help your wife. These are your women. You married that woman that you know you're going to take care of her.
She's your suitable
your only.
partner. She's your friend. Like,
I don't say
yeah.
that she's cheating on you, but if she,
Even though-
as long as you don't know that she's cheating on you, you take care of your woman.
Yeah.
So one of the most transformative movements in changing traditional gender right now, in gender roles, has been feminism.
Yeah.
So let's delve into its origins and how it also incomes
Please,
female
I really
inclusion
want to know.
in the fight of gender.
I really want to know why feminism. And actually, before you even go to feminism, you need to understand that feminism came from woman emancipation. I hope you're going to tap on that.
Na yo chemani, feminism yajatandika before women emancipation.
Really?
Before women emancipation, women were also fighting for their rights. Back then in ancient Egypt, back then in medieval Europe, back then old ages,
Wow, enlighten me
yeah.
more.
For example, let's say like cultures like in medieval Europe, where marriage roles were largely defined by religious expectations. Women were often seen as subservient to their husbands, expected to manage their household and bear children. And the patriarchal view of marriage was reinforced by the church.
The
And
what?
It was reinforced by the church, the Catholic Church.
The patriarchy thing.
the patriarchy thing. Do you know why?
But it's not wrong.
No. Women in those days
Uh,
had wanted to also fight and defend their rights. Because you have a household and for your is to bear children, and you know what causes that, Louis? Now let me explain to you as a fellow man. I'm not saying not all women, but if you realize most feminists have got challenges with marriage.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, but that's kind of the truth. Because you know why?
That's
They
what
don't want to submit.
That's what
Believe me, be a feminist before you're married.
Uh,
The moment you get married, dude, marriage is marriage. That's why
Yeah.
the Catholic Church had to introduce this patriarchal view of marriage. And it was not until the late 19th century and 20th century that women's rights within marriage started to see major changes. When you're married, now, thank God right now, thank God you guys are in monogamous families. Let's say now for the
Nah,
Christians.
not all of us.
No, for the Christians. For the Muslims, you have to respect your religion because you are born a Muslim. You accept to be your co-wife. Nothing you shall do about
Stambule.
that. Hey. But for the Christians,
Even when
who-
you come to the Christian men, they are also finding outside people to
no,
escort you.
but those are concubines. They are not wives.
Still,
Side chicks. Okay, let's put
a
it in
wife
our
looking
modern
at a
English.
concubine, it's a disgrace.
Chibachinyiza. Nange, chibachinyiza.
It's like
Na
you
yinga,
having
as
like
long as you're the woman of the house. Do you know that even the church, the Catholic Church, let's say the Catholic Church, because it's the majority Christian religion in the world today, doesn't consider divorce.
it's surprising. I
Yeah,
remember
it doesn't.
King Henry the who?
The 8th?
The 16th?
Was it not
The 8th.
Yeah, the 8th.
The 8th.
Yeah, the
oh
7th.
my.
I think the 7th, the 8th.
He fought to get rid of Catherine.
That's why we have the Anglican Church right now. That's the product. I'm not talking about religion, but then, yeah, that's how it came.
I'm not objecting. Today we are talking about feminism.
But they're all Catholics. But just because they follow the English customs, follow the Roman customs, that's the only difference. But the Catholic Church doesn't. Okay, the church, they don't consider divorce because it's even in the Bible.
By the way, to enlighten more about the patriarchal kind
view
of
of marriage.
standing for families. It's that it was a principle. It has been a principle from way back then, very very far in in cultures that I know of, in
Yeah.
human cultures.
Yeah.
You know, hyenas is the man, it's the woman. The woman in the
Yeah,
hyenas
yeah,
it's a matriarchal kind
Actually-
of thing.
Actually, Louis, if you realized,
Uh,
in animals, not humans, but animals, it's the woman who always takes the lead. The female animal. What causes malaria? Female
okay, those ones
Anopheles
are very
mosquito.
very annoying. Then the hyenas.
The lion
then,
also itself.
Now the lion is still king. Guess the other one does a lot of hunting, but the lion remains king.
You can be king nenga wakufuga. So,
No, the lion king is
continue with the hyena story.
Anyway,
yeah?
so this is the reason we've been fighting like that. That's another part of feminism. There is chauvinism. Sorry,
Yeah.
masculinity is okay. Masculinity is
Yeah,
okay.
masculinity.
But guys, work on your masculinity. It's very okay. It's something very I'm proud. We have
of.
to be proud of.
Yeah.
So now, what was I telling you about?
The hyenas.
The hyenas, yeah. So the hyenas, to go to the hyenas, we're talking about the patriarchal view or ever since in the ancient of days. But in the hyenas, it's quite different, just as we've noted
In the
in
matriarchal.
most of animals. So I was saying that for in humanity, it has always been that we always look forward to that guy, the man in the house. And that's why names the wife takes the man's name. She gets rid of, not getting rid of her maiden name. There's the maiden name.
What's the maiden name?
Maiden name. To me now the way I understand maiden is like the name that's holding that place, so that when you get a husband, that maiden name is like it's holding.
Let's say my
place
wife is
holder.
called. No, let's say my wife is called. Let me think of a name. Let's say she's called. Okay, let's say she's called
Nakato.
Nakato
Melissa. Now
So she marries-
Nakato.
yeah,
No, actually Nakato, no. Nakato is some other thing. Nakato is like a title in Uganda. Let's say Nakalins.
Okay, yeah,
Nakalins.
Melissa.
Nakalins in Melissa. So maiden is that when you Kaitana come into her life,
She's Mrs. Kaitana.
now she's Mrs. Kaitana. Nakalinzi goes down. It will only surface when she goes back to her parents, back to her family, when there's some sort of family meeting of the sorts.
So like on her documents, she writes Mrs. Kaitana Melissa. That's what she
Yeah. Though no,
Mrs. Kaitana Davis.
no. Now the
So, yeah.
documents, those ones are between you and in the family. But what she has been writing, some wives would want to change the names to their husbands' names. Right now, that has not yet been worked upon. But the name that you have on your, like that name that is stuck to you, like for example, Kaitana. I mean, Mrs. Kaitana. There's something written to it in the law. It's confusing. I don't do law, but the way I see my mom fighting for the name of my dad on her name, it was just so exceptional. I was like, wow, mommy, that love,
It's really good. Yeah.
that love, wow.
That's what I was trying to tell you. So the Catholic Church was not stupid to introduce this patriarchal view of marriage. So you know what what that patriarchal view of marriage was? According to them in medieval Europe, well, not according to us, but for them. So they believe the man was the provider and the protector, as we earlier said.
And which is true.
And the woman, let's say a housewife in those days. Ours to manage the kitchen, to manage the what, blah, blah, blah. Married woman. But if you're not married, it doesn't stop you to go out and venture the world.
But most times they were kept behind.
Yeah, but now, then worst of all, these women got married when they were still young.
13,
18,
12.
17, 11,
18 is old.
11.
13, 15.
By 31, you have grandkids. So that was their view. And that's what has kept. Actually, if you see most strong families right now, they still follow this thing.
Strong, yeah, kind of.
Most strong families, united families
They
right now.
follow the trend, or the thing they follow is.
I'm not saying they follow. No, they don't follow the traditional way, but they follow the biblical way.
There is a principle they are holding
They are
on
holding
to.
good.
The principle, and that's basically the submissive principle,
submissive
which
principle.
feminism is
He's fighting
completely against.
Yeah. So, for example, if you see this family of Pastor Kayanja, see they've really been together.
I actually don't know Pastor Kayanja.
Pastor Kayanja here and how his wife, I've forgotten her name. because I don't follow, but I know Pastor Robert Karanja and his wife are really in marriage, and they actually preach to young people on how to strengthen their marriages. You see, okay, I'm not against feminism.
I'm
Be a
entirely
feminist.
against feminism.
No, be a feminist. Number one, when you're not married. Number two, when you're not divorced. So like when you're divorced. But in preaching your ideas, preach them to the people who are in your same caliber.
Yeah, go in your bars and talk
Because
there.
if you're not married, there's no need to sit home and, go out and venture. You're a single mother. Go out and look after your kids.
No, now you have to define feminism. Please tell me.
So feminism is kind of a movement that fights for women's rights and women's recognition in society. And women's recognition in society. Like at this modern age, remember, feminism.
Wait, what? First pardon me? What
This
does it do?
society, put it in Uganda.
What about women emancipation?
Now I'm going to now I'm going to explain that. So women emancipation came after the First World War. A lot of men died in war. When people die, the rich don't care. I'm coming to your point.
Okay.
The rich men don't care. Okay, the richest businessmen. I'm not saying this rich one we are driving a car and you make for us noise in Kampala. They are rich. People who have billions of
in
dollars.
Nairobi also.
Yeah. So what they did, these businessmen didn't want to see their businesses collapsing. So what they did, they employed women. And as a result of that, women started putting on trousers, t-shirts, what men wear, basically. To find the needs of those factors, because you can't work in a factory in a skirt.
Yeah.
You can't work in a, let's like which company, like in an oil company, when you're putting on a skirt, you have to put on an overall, which
But they
needs
did not.
trousers.
Okay, huh?
So, as women did that, women realized that what men can do, they can also do. They can't do better, but they can also do. Because
Try.
that act affected those world economy, which led to the Great Economic Depression that lasted for 10 years. You know why?
Yeah.
They produced low quality goods and low quality output, according to economics. So that led to the Great Economic Depression. We are not blaming them that they can't manage. They were not used to this kind of life. So as time went on, they learned, and after that Great Economic Depression was solved by the leaders, they improved. So it was a mixture.
But there is somewhere I want to disagree with you.
I'm still coming to your point. As they were improving, the Second World War did what? Came out.
Oh, God.
My guy Hitler, came up with these guys.
Hey.
Invaded. But invading Poland, now everything can never die. Do you know it feels like you've done something and it's already coming up, but then something again comes and destroys it. Nevika. Again, men died. And women had to go back. Because by then women were not fighting in those strong wars. They're not fighting in wars.
They're basically treating...
The few women I knew who fought in wars, there was some queen in Angola called Queen Muzinga. She fought against the Portuguese. There was
She
another
won?
queen. She won in some battles, but she was later defeated. Yeah.
Then there is the Queen Warrior of Jhansi, India. I watched the movie.
The Queen Warrior of Jhansi. We also have this English queen who was called, but what? I watched that movie. She was called, but she fought against the Romans. Well, I think the few women warriors I know, but they also fought on the help of men. We also have a queen of
They
Ethiopia.
were leading wars, sorry.
Yeah, they were leading wars, but fought by men.
Yeah.
There was the queen of Ethiopia, actually an empress called. She was called Amanirena. She
Then
was the
there
queen
is
of Kush.
Then
She
there
fought
is
against
this one
Romans and
of,
defeated them.
then there is this one of Russia.
Queen Catherine.
She was also Catherine.
Yeah,
I remember she was also
Catherine,
Catherine. Her husband was some
Simon,
numbskull.
it was called Peter the Great. Sir Peter the Great, something like that.
She actually overthrew him, but he was still
No,
alive. Or
actually-
he died.
No, he died. No, he did. Actually,
She
his
kind
death
of.
was planned by the wife. Let's put it that way. Yeah, his death was planned by the wife.
He was the king. He was the actual ruler.
He was the actual ruler. But then, after her rule, then her son, their son inherited the kingdom. So she kept the whatever in her control. So back to my point of feminism. So that's how
I
men
still
came
want to
to power.
disagree with you somewhere.
Disagree with
Agree
me,
to me
Mr.
to disagree with
It
you.
is okay. Disagree with me?
It's true. Okay, if I proceed, let me first build my
So I was still
point.
saying, I reached on the point of the Second World War breaking out. So the Second World breaking out, China now with Chimu. Because the depression ended in 35 and the World War broke up in 39. So the 4 years were more of like more of a success.
Mm.
So that's how that goes. So feminists, as women saw that, women started going to work, they got jobs, they got office jobs, they started earning salaries.
What's your definition of feminism?
Now,
I'm still disagreeing with this
I'm
somewhere.
still explaining.
Ah.
Those women who were earning
Mm.
had to go and spread those women who were not earning yet.
Mm.
That's where the actual feminism came from. Now feminism has been there since creation. Now they don't have that voice to air out their grievances. Even the queens supported masculinity. The queens you see as women.
I want to disagree with you.
We'll come there later. The other thing is, now women emancipation, it was kind of an act passed by various governments permitting women to do what men did. That's the difference between women emancipation and feminism. It's like saying communism has not been there, like wasn't there before the Russian Revolution. Like communism was there just because people didn't have the voice to air out communism until the Russian Revolution broke out and they got a government that supported them.
That is where it's there. Now that's to me, like there are some characteristics in humanity. This is now this is me disagreeing with you.
Okay.
There's certain characteristics in humanity whereby I'm the best, that kind of belief.
Competition.
And sometimes it's good, it does good in us, but then there's a point where it gets to the extreme. Woman emancipation is like that. Woman emancipation is something I believe in, because if it is not that, many of us, many children, because for example, right now, remember when we're both from the same school. Remember our HR telling us that 70% of us at school, it was our moms paying for us. That thing hit me.
You know why?
Why? Men running away?
No, single mothers, I guess.
There are many. There are
and due
very
to the
many.
situation, they're single, and you also know that they're single fathers as well.
Yeah,
We
they
have
are
single
there.
fathers.
But there are few.
No, they are not few. Why not just? You know, let me say something
Compared
about
to the
men.
numbers.
Louis, we are men. No, leave alone. Women are more than men in population. Actually, world population, women are more than men. Right? The reason we have single mothers, they are different. Maybe divorce, maybe the guy is polygamous, maybe the guy died, all that.
No. Actually, most
I'm
times,
explaining.
most men hit and run.
Yeah, hit and run. I understand that. But those other reasons. Now, that's now like a divorcee, now have a single mom. Like a widow, have a single mom. A wife
there
of a
can't
polygamous man, have a single mom
There
as
can't
well.
be that many. There are so many.
There are many, I believe. I know that.
Yeah,
And
there
also
are too
single
many.
fathers. Nenga now, the
It's
thing with
abnormal.
men keep quiet by that way. And now that's the mistake I think our parents put into us. Whereby men don't air out their views.
It's good.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's really good at some point. Nenga,
I'm proud.
do you know what my people say in the West? They say it was silence that delayed at the road in Rukunjeri. They didn't talk. Not until they talked and then the road was brought to their place. It was just like Move saying, because it was one of the last areas that got a tarmac road, Rukunjeri, by the struggles of their son, Besige. So that's how things go. Yeah, Besige is from Rukunjeri, so.
What about M7?
M7 is from Chiruhura, Tungamo, that's his area.
Need?
So, I'm still saying, when you have a problem, Louis, at some point you air it out. Not all problems are supposed to be aired out.
Yeah, we speak a little. We don't
And
speak
if
too
you
much.
marry a partner, if you marry a wife, that woman is your partner. Mugambe izivu tomanya inzo kuyamba. She
No.
might help you. And there's some problems. You watched this series called Breaking Bad.
I think I
There's a
have.
series called Breaking Bad whereby this guy is dealing in drugs and what. Now those ones, of course, you can't tell your wife. Hanga women are so kale like inzo kutabila now if kale. She may even stop
I like
from
them for
thinking,
that.
right? But then if you have, let's say, for example, you've lost your job. Why do you keep quiet about that? Don't you
Yeah,
not say,
truly.
Nenga, she's working. You talked
Yeah, you
about
might
that.
be, you get ya.
Hey,
I get that.
you talked about that. But if you're a crime lord, Nenga touch man, you don't gamba.
You dey care.
Because she can even report it to the police.
The police can easily manipulate her.
Manipulate her in the kukwata.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying you should air out all your problems, but some problems, there's a problem that nigga sticks in your nogama wakati nkolechi.
You
And
have
the only person
bros.
you have to leave alone, bro. Man, bros don't help. Okay, yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Bros help at some point.
Yeah.
Nenga, the thing that are supposed to stop in the bedroom.
But let's first go back to feminism.
Now, feminism. Feminism today. But
Let me first talk about feminism.
you talk about feminism.
So to me, this thing of feminism, there are two things.
Mm.
There's emancipation and feminism. Feminism, it's true, has always been there, and it has always been there.
Yeah.
That pride.
That pride, I'm a woman.
Who can? I mean, it's me. I mean, like
No, I'm a woman.
who?
Proud to be a woman.
Yeah. So then now that may be a kind of good thing,
Yeah.
but there is a level when feminism started coming out. It was so bad. We don't need men. What a man can do, I can do better.
That doesn't exist.
What a man can do, I can do better. Whereas those things are there.
Yeah.
But I mean, the notion of it is funny. The notion of it is funny because there are things that women can do and they can never even do equally better. I mean, I had to agree. And feminism, at this point, I'm a person who loves. I've been following out to what's happening in the USA, and these guys have a funny kind of structure. All sides are radical. All sides, one falls the other side so fully, another falls the side so fully. So the Democrat, like in the Democratic Party, you find that's where you find mob feminists, mob of them, and I've also seen. I don't know where the media tries to downplay the entire thing. Men turn out to be like, hey, we agree, we love women, and we can't live without them. But a woman can say, the women feminists were like, wow, we can do without men. Men are trash. So to me, feminism.
I want to agree with you. But first finish. It's okay.
Feminism has not been feminism. Is it the same thing as masculinity, or feminism is equivalent to chauvinism?
Okay. What do you mean by chauvinism?
Chauvinism is that notion that says man is fully above woman, fully and also.
I don't believe in that.
Yeah, you don't believe in it, but as in it's there.
Yeah, it's there.
No, like feminism
that's the natural
is
law.
there. That's the natural law, you call it. So just as feminism is there, so there is also that notion of chauvinism. But what I do agree with, and in the sense that I really appreciate in my mind, is the thing to do with emancipation, and because we have had a wrong understanding of who should do what and who is where in the social ranking.
Yeah.
So basically, I will agree with emancipation, but I don't have a problem with emancipation, but I have heavy issues with feminism.
Now, Louis, let me explain this to you.
But tell me what
I'm
feminism
agreeing
is.
with you. Feminism.
I'm going to first have to search as you tell me.
Okay, feminism, as I've told you earlier, feminism is that kind of love you have for us. You're proud to be a woman. It's a movement. It's like the Rastafarian movement. What was the Rastafarian movement? I'll tell you. It's just a movement by someone believes he's a true son of Haile Selassie. And they believe that it's a brief that men and women should have equal rights and opportunities. Let me tell you something, Louis.
With that, I agree.
Niccolo Machiavelli once said, never preach democracy. Because in heaven itself, there's no democracy. Heaven is a monarchy. It's not democracy. God is king. If there was democracy, God would be the president, and maybe after like 5 years, we have Angel Gabriel being the president. That's democracy.
And then
everyone
Lucifer
can rule.
would have a chance.
And Lucifer would have a chance to contest.
Then
So,
you would have started.
you know what democracy is? Majority rule. Which democracy earlier called for equality. Equality really does not exist. That's why we're going in different forms.
That's why you have 5 fingers. And
That's why you
none
have
is
5
equal.
fingers and,
So it's basically,
there's
okay, now
nothing. No,
looking at that meaning,
To
I'm
me-
okay with it.
to me, that's just whatever. But that's just his opinion. But my opinion, feminism is not that. If you see feminists today, Louis Baja Kutamia Bakazi. There was this feminist I read about. Her name was Susan B. Anthony, and another one also called Mary Wollstonecraft. These guys were Americans in the 60s. Dude, they speak things. That's what I was telling you. For ladies outside there, we are not stopping you from being feminists. If you wanna be a feminist, go ahead and be one.
It's the same thing
But
as
the
those
moment
want
you
to
get
be gay.
married, dude, follow marriage because you want to change the law of marriage. For example,
Agree to submit.
submit. If you're working, yes, we are all workers.
Okay, work.
Come home. Me, I don't care whether I work or not. Me, I want to eat. That's why I buy the food. Don't I work? I finish my responsibilities.
But
and
this
you
is
see, surprisingly,
this particular topic it's somehow very controversial. Do you know why?
Mm-hmm.
There is no a particular of doing things.
Let me tell you, Louis. Let me tell you about my friend. I have a friend who's married.
Mm.
I'm not going to mention his name though, but he's married. And dude, okay, I think that was
Was
like,
he with us at school?
not really. Not really. That's what it's kind of a distant relative. So this person gets married, and that's his second love. Because the first love he had,
Those things.
why? Let me stop women and only settle for marriage. So one time he missed this girl, and they agreed for marriage. etc.
Mm.
The man works and the woman works. Yes, the man earns more than the woman. The man does all his responsibilities.
Mm.
He buys the food, he pays the bills, takes the kids to school. That's everything a man is supposed to do. The security
Despite
at
the
home.
fact that also the woman works.
The woman is working.
But the
Of
man
course,
takes on
of course, the woman at times, like once in a while, of course, she buys food stuff. I'm not saying she does nothing.
Mm.
She earns money, and
That's something for
she
the
does
home.
something little. Like, of course, she requests the chairs. She sometimes pays. Now, what's DSTV subscription when you like? It's nothing big.
But it's big.
Yeah, no, to them because it's kind of a rich. Okay, they're not rich, but a middle class family.
Rich.
But your kids have to watch
In
cartoons,
Uganda,
so-
that's rich.
So what happens is this: a woman comes home, and nigga doesn't. Because it's like, okay, if you can't cook, get me a maid in Zagendo conform. And the woman is like, you cheat on me with the maid. And just look at the mentality of that woman. You're like,
It's true.
no, Louis. When you're working, you're okay. You know, when
You
they give you a
either
job,
cook or you get the maid.
when someone gives you a job, what he wants is the finished work. He doesn't care about how you've done the job. Yet at your far cage. You've seen most employers. To talk, you see like most guys, like you in the tech guys, are gonna make me a website. He doesn't care whether you got the website from AI, whether it's up to you to do the website.
Just give me something nice.
Just give him the finished work.
Yeah.
So that's the same thing with women. If you're married, and you work and you see you have no time for home, look for another solution. That's your job. It's not my job to get you a maid. It's your job. Get a maid. If you see your work
Get
is really
get a very old one so that I won't cheat with her.
Get a, you don't care. Me, I want food. I actually want food.
Don't bring me a young one. Don't bring me a young one.
You
I know a man. I know men. I'm a man. I know men.
Anyway, let's go to the effects of this feminism.
But first tell us, just give us a simple historical background. Simple, detailed. This happened. This one here. This one here. This date. This year.
Feminism was in waves. We mainly have 3 waves of feminism. Well, feminism emerged from the first wave in the late 19th century, when women fought for basic rights like suffrage, which was a major shift from the oppressive gender roles at the time. That is understandable. Basic rights, like all women are supposed to vote. That's okay. We are humans.
Bambi, they fought.
Yeah, they fought and they voted. But then now, this second wave comes in between the 60s and the 70s, which expanded to include women's rights to employment, productive rights, and social freedom.
Which is okay.
That's also good. We believe that.
You're okay
Like,
with it.
it's okay, you can work. And man, now when you need a call, go out and make hair worth 2 million. And we know you're a woman who is a billionaire woman.
Yeah.
Louis, did you know? Not in bad faith. All female billionaires, we know the richest women. I'm not saying all of them, but most of them, product of divorce. To gain a mass. That bit of feminism, that focused on intersectionality, recognizing that gender, race, class, and sexual orientation all intersect and influence social experiences. Do you believe in that?
It's complicated
Let
to
me repeat it.
understand.
Third wave feminism.
Third wave.
Focused, yeah, the third wave now, which is what we are now right now.
That's the one that even brought in the 72 genders.
Good. Focus on
Now that one.
intersectionality. No, that's what we have a problem with. I have a problem with the first and second waves of feminism. I have a
But
problem
the
with the
third.
third wave. And let's go
It's the
also,
one that has just destroyed everything.
let's also go and explain what male inclusion is. Today, modern feminism increasingly advocates for male inclusion.
In what?
Challenging traditional. Do you know what male inclusion is?
No?
Men are now encouraged to embrace roles like stay-at-home fathers, while also confronting toxic masculinity. Now, that's the third wave feminism. And that's what I have a problem with.
Now that is what has raided Europe. That's what has
Even
raided USA.
them Africa, Mwedi, you see,
Because we are looking at the other
we look
fools.
at them and they
Sorry,
think we are the
sorry.
best.
I meant to say the other guys like, why?
You feel my point? So, Louis, you see,
I
women right
got
now.
personal.
Okay, do you know what causes that?
Uh,
The entertainment industry, they show women
and it's
as-
doing so well.
it's doing so well. But I'm advising women out there.
No, advise men.
I'm advising men. now, no, let me advise both genders because they'll think I'm taking a side.
Me, I'm advising men.
Men, before you marry a woman, and you have a saying, you Google the translation. Before you
Please.
marry, ask. Marry your woman. Because let me tell you something, there's nothing like past. If the once a soldier, always a soldier. Once a whole, always a whole. Nothing can change.
Ouch.
Feminism. Don't marry a feminist. Because
Marry a wife.
marry a wife. Don't go for beauty. And surprising, actually, they're beautiful by the way. If you realize,
Befako.
don't marry for beauty. and they are independent.
They don't make it look like those who are submissive and
No. But our Louis, marriage is marriage. Relationships are relationships. You've agreed to date a guy.
This has been personal for you.
No, what men want? Let me say something. What men want, you also know that is respect. Choka.
I would love my respect.
Only respect. Respect in front of your friends, respect in front of your family, and you see if I have a problem with we can't go like they won't say sentence and cannot change as in just let I mean that give me respect and you take all my man. You will have won.
You
'Cause
heard Kaitana Davis.
You are about more
His
smarter
name.
than me.
Get his number from me.
So that's it. So men,
First,
marry
tell us more
a
about
wife.
this male inclusion
So
and
male
give us in
inclusion.
detail.
male
I won't
inclusion.
interrupt.
Male inclusion is so Mr. It advocates for men. Okay. Feminism, let me put it this way. Feminism are men but in women's clothes, in women's bodies. Male inclusion are women in male clothing or in male bodies. That is to say, male inclusion advocates for you can be a house husband, let me call it that way. House husband. You can live in your wife's house. If you happen to be poor and you marry a wife richer than you live in a house. So that's male. So you're actually you're actually a male wife and she's a female husband. Let me put it that way. Yakuwa Sakai. That's male inclusion.
Work.
Male inclusion, you
Get money.
babysit. Men outside there, don't go for sugar mummies in short. But work and make it is possible by either way. It is possible to make money. Though it takes stages. Wealth doesn't come in a one night stand. So, and women outside there, and simple advice to you, be a feminist when you're single. And when you get married,
But try to hide hope. Because someone will see and be like, that
oh.
one.
oh wow, what's that? You're married. So, I think, Louis, we can stop here for today. As we've seen today, generals have shaped history in ways both restrictive and empowering, isn't it?
Yeah.
But as societies evolve, so to do the expectations surrounding gender, and with the rise of feminist movements and the ongoing challenge to traditional gender.
I want to suggest something that we really need an article on this. Mostly, I'm most interested in about male inclusion.
Male inclusion.
Yes, we cannot. It's so big. We may not
Okay.
go deep into it, but
Yeah.
I just want to.
You want a simple explanation?
Later on in the near future, I would like us to have a simple talk about this, a
Okay.
more detailed one, like what is male inclusion, what does it mean, and is it really wrong for a man to stay home and take care of the kids and the wife
It's
is
wrong.
busy?
Yeah, that's not your purpose on earth.
Ah.
Unless you are actually, we had men like that both back then. Actually, we had the eunuchs. Men who were castrated to look after
Those
the
are not
queens.
men anymore.
Yeah, those were not men because that's what makes you a man.
Sorry.
But they
Anyway,
were not men, just
it's
males.
true. They were just there.
So
Things.
that's it. So male inclusion, I don't actually if that's impossible.
Yes.
So, with the rise of feminist movements and the ongoing challenge to traditional gender norms, the future holds new opportunities for both women and men to define their roles in societies. Thank you for joining me today. I am Collins Lewis on The Lens. I hope today's discussion has helped you see gender roles through a more nuanced lens. Until next time, remember that change begins with understanding. Take care and keep questioning the world around you. Bye-bye.
In the morning sun we rise, man and woman side by side. Together we share the load, hand in hand down life's road. We work, we play, we laugh, we cry, underneath the same bright sky. Building dreams, brick by brick, love and unity, that's our trick. She's got her hammer, I've got mine. Together we're a perfect rhyme. Cooking meals, raising kids. Together we scale life's grids. We work, we play, we laugh, we cry, underneath the same bright sky. Building dreams, brick by brick, love and unity, that's our trick. Through storms and sunny days, we dance in the world's embrace. Every step in perfect sync, hearts and minds always linked. We work, we play, we laugh, we cry, underneath the same bright sky. Building dreams, brick by brick, love and unity, that's our trick. Through storms and sunny days, we dance in the world's embrace. Every step in perfect sync, hearts and minds always linked.